Welcome back to the second video of this camper build. I'm a contractor, if you don't know, that bought a camper and I'm fixing it up. It's totally different than building a house, but you're watching me as we go. The first thing we're doing in this video is the shower. So I'm hoping that I can use this big 6-inch hole saw and then take the piece that comes out and stuff this hole, because this hole is no longer good. So I found this like 1/8-inch hard masonite, and I'm gonna try to get it to bend around here because I can't really think of anything else to use. So I was like, if I get this, I'll just put a bunch of screws and then I can just put a piece of trim in the center. Oh yeah, that was good. So making my way back to these is something that I've been kind of dreading because I have to figure out this exact angle. So I think I'm going to take one of the pieces from the shower that's left over and just kind of try to imitate it, and then find like a pattern that I can then take it out and transfer it to the piece of wood that I'm going to be using here. Now that I got it close, I cut 2 small pieces and I'm going to trace the actual arch, and it should be exactly where we need it. I was going to miter the corners on a 45 to make it look really clean, but the way that these walls are so wavy, I feel like the 45s just wouldn't have lined up the way I wanted to, so it would have ended up looking sloppy. So I decided to just go with straight cuts down here, and then we'll kind of mirror that up here, hangs over about a 1/2 inch. I think it'll look good. Fuck me. So I've basically finished up all of the trim on the back side. Now I am trying to start this whole refrigerator thing. I just installed this panel and I don't really know how I'm gonna trim this out around the refrigerator and make everything with this blend. So I need to put the refrigerator in here before I can finish any of this trim to where it doesn't look like crap. So now you can see that the ratchet strap is in there tighter than a banjo string. Goes around, hooks down there. So now it's nice and solid. I shouldn't have to worry about it opening or bouncing out. Now it's time to figure out how I'm gonna trim it. So since these are gonna be nailed up pretty tight, I did wanna make sure that this was accessible since there's a bunch of wires back here and I can get to the ratchet strap and everything with this refrigerator without having to tear everything apart. So I made this little access panel that I can just screw that up. I can paint it and screw it up and it'll look like it's part of the trim, and if I need to get into there, I can. So I've been waiting to put the whole bed together because I want to paint back here before I do any of the plumbing and electrical. So I was going to paint this white with everything else, but now that I think about it, I want to paint it black so when you look in from the door, it doesn't stand out and the black kind of hides everything. So before I paint everything in here, I want to prime all of this paneling because I don't want the new paint to scrape off of this stuff pretty easily. So when I bought this cabinet, it was put together completely, but I didn't think about trying to fit it through this doorway. This is 21 inches. So unfortunately, I had to take the cabinet apart, but I actually do think it'll make it a little bit easier with figuring out how exactly I have to cut this apart to make it fit over top of this wheel well. Well, I just built this thing and nailed it back up and forgot I had to take it apart in the first place to get it into the camper. Oh! I'm going to paint this joint right here on this cabinet with glue because I feel like it's just been taken apart so many times. It's probably a good idea, especially with driving down the road. So I put this 3/4 inch filler right there so it brings this cabinet away from here, so when I open up the door it does not drag, because I still have to put a piece of trim across here. So if I didn't, the trim would have blocked this door and I wouldn't have been able to open it. So now I'm basically to the point of putting the bed on. I want to make sure all the plumbing and electric is done. So I'm going to start doing this stuff. That way I can go inside and run that and then finish up the trim. I'm not so much worried about these screws or what this looks like because the bottom side of this is getting painted, so that'll all get covered up. So basically what I have going on, this comes in from the outside hose, comes over, tees up, goes over to the shower, comes up, around, tees off, goes to the sink, then supplies the hot water heater. Then the hot water heater comes around, picks up the sink, comes over, 90s off to the shower. So she is in a different location right now, and that's because there's 7 days until the first camping trip, and today is the last day that it's halfway decent to get this thing painted and cleaned up on the outside. Then I'll go back on the inside. But if I don't do this today, I probably won't be able to do it until after the trip. Got this side prepped for paint, got the tape marked off where the bottom side is going to be pink, and got everything caulked. Nobody likes to sit here and watch paint dry, so unfortunately, you got to come back for video number 3 to see this beautiful paint job. So make sure to come back and see us. Peace.